You are now listening to Wolf Sports Network live from the University of West Georgia in Carrollton, now an Odyssey station.
We're back, baby. It's season 6 of Sports Out of Pocket, where the takes are cold and there is zero chill.
That's right. We're back with controversy. We're calling out the fakes, the frauds, and the failures.
Cash or Trash is back too. Your takes, your trades, we judge it all.
And we're bringing you stats, smack talk, and sleepers in our segment, Fantasy Football.
And then we take you down to the 2-minute warning, where we try to plead our case on horrible sports takes.
And we're melting the ice with the return of Fire Me Up.
And you already know we bring you the coldest interviews in sports radio.
This is the Philly Sports Guy.
This is former MLB All-Star Justin Masterson.
Hey, yo, what up? My name is Josh Martinez from Z100 New York.
What up, guys? It's Tyrell Adams, former UWG linebacker.
One vet, 3 rookies. Sports Out of Pocket Season 6.
Zero chill.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the special edition of Sports Out of Pocket Thanksgiving edition. Gobble up. I'm your host today, Jackson Voles, and around the table, I have the most amazing cast I can do this show with. Starting over with JT Groves. JT, how's your day going, man?
Dude, I'm doing really good. Last episode before Thanksgiving break for us here at Wolf Sports Network. Really excited for that break. It's a much-needed break. School's getting out of hand, but excited to wrap this show up.
You have big Thanksgiving plans?
Just go back home, see all my family that I haven't seen in a while. Really excited to eat some good food, too.
I mean, I love the food. That's probably the best part of Thanksgiving. I mean, look at me. Look at me, man. Yeah. But I'm going to toss it over here. The guy making us sound amazing, Michael Miller. How's your day going?
Doing great, Jackson. You know, this past weekend went to the Georgia game. That's one of the better games I've been to. I've been to a lot of them in Sanford Stadium, but that was one of the best environments I've had, so I'm doing great.
Yeah, I saw the awesome Instagram content you posted out with, the Texas. Next time, I heard you got season tickets. Invite me. I know I'm not a big Georgia fan.
JT, you want to go to a game?
I would love to go to a game, dude.
That's absolutely insane. But I want to talk to a guy who's a big Georgia fan. Not Grady Hamilton, but the guy who's stepping in his place, Parker Andell, for his first full show. Parker, how are you doing today, man?
Pumped, stoked to be on my first full show. Vibes good all around. Holiday season. Ready to get it underway. Let's get it.
Hey, you have to take the Temple pride because, the twins who used to be on the show graduated from the same high school as you. So, you got to Temple represent. Parker.
Once a Tiger, always a Tiger.
Always a Tiger. And speaking of Tigers, let's talk about the Cincinnati Bengals and Jamar Chase. Let's get into the show.
I'm just here so I won't get fined.
We in here talking about practice.
It's time for the latest sports controversies. Now, there's a lot of controversies circulating around the NFL, and I want to start with star wide receiver for the Cincinnati Bengals, Jamar Chase. Now, we talked all season about, suspensions and spitting allegations, and he spit on Jalen Ramsey, Steelers' defensive back. And the thing is, the difference between Jalen Carter and Jamar Chase, Jalen Carter owned up to his mistakes. He got a $57,000 fine for doing that to Dak Prescott. Jamar Chase went to the NFL board, tried to appeal it, failed. So he's getting a Week 12 game suspension, unpaid. What are y'all's thoughts on that? I want to start with Parker.
I think it's unbelievable, man, how you come out post-game and you use your words to say that I did not spit when they ask you about spit. And I just think that's insane, man. Like, when you know you're going to go back on video and you know they're going to see it, are you scared to own up to your mistakes of spitting? And that was a lot of saliva to come out of one man's mouth. That was a lot of spit.
Dude,
man.
Jamar Chase, just own up to it like Parker was mentioning, dude. Just like, you're on camera. It's 100%. They can go back. They can see it. Unless you, completely forgot or, blanked out about it. There's no reason to lie about it because now you're not getting paid for this game. You're suspended for that game. And you could have been on a really good fantasy team. I was going to make a trade for you in fantasy, and then I saw that you got suspended for a game. So now I'm kind of iffy on it, Jamar. But, that's your decision, I guess.
I was going to say before Michael, speaking of fantasy, bro, Keyshawn Ward has, multiple IRs, and then, just for Jamar Chase to go down for a one-game suspension in a crucial, tight race for playoff spots heading into the home stretch of the fantasy football season, it's rough for him. But Michael Miller, thoughts on Jamar Chase and the spitting situation?
Yeah, I agree with JT and Parker. I mean, for me, number one, it reminds me of the Jalen Carter thing earlier this year, in week 1. At least Jalen Carter owned up to it. Like Jalen Carter knew he's on TV, and he's like, yeah, I did it. Now, he was talking about Dak Prescott doing it first, which may or may not be true when you watch the video. This is debatable. But for Jamar, just to first of all, not to learn from that earlier this year, to see Jalen Carter doing that, and obviously you see him get suspended for a game, there's just no reason to do it. It's just stupid. And then number two, like you're on national TV. You know that was replayed. Just don't lie about it. Like, it's just stupid.
Yeah, there's going to be visual evidence when it comes to that. But speaking of players getting benched and suspended, JT, you have a big controversy for this week.
Yeah, so there's been a lot of players this week that have gotten benched or just like having to sit out the first drive. There's a few that I want to mention. First, Justin Fields getting benched for Tyrod based off of performance. Very understandable. Justin Fields has not looked great. Probably the worst quarterback in the NFL right now, which sucks because I had a lot of faith for him. But go Tyrod, former Bill. Let's go. Also, CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens got benched for the opening drive of the Monday Night Football game against the Raiders because the coach called a couple things got missed. Apparently, maybe meetings, something along those lines. George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb sat out the first drive, but then they came back, went absolutely nuclear, had a great game. Keon Coleman sat out the entire game. He got benched for the entire game. Bills still got the win, so shout out. Go Bills. But coach said it was time for him to grow up because he had some character issues. Now, he's a funny guy. He's a solid football player, but you're in a grown man's job. You do not need to be missing team meetings when this is your life. This is your job. You should not be missing Friday meetings going into a huge game Sunday against a tough team when you're fighting for a playoff spot at this point. And then Abdul Carter as well, getting benched due to something that happened during the week. Got benched for the first series against the Packers. Just a bunch of players that are getting disciplinary actions and stuff against them. But, I mean, do we think that these players deserve this? Do we think that these are reasonable suspensions, getting benched? What do we think about it?
To add on to the George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb situation, I did read a little more, and I seen that they were playing in Vegas, so I think they could have been out late night gambling and stuff. I mean, when it comes to that kind of stuff, these are grown men, so it's like you got to give them some freedom to do what they want to do. But I don't see much problems with it if they're showing up to work and producing. I mean, George Pickens responded great to it, had a crazy game with a touchdown. CeeDee Lamb had a good game, and the Cowboys had a statement win.
Oh, yeah.
So if you can show up and do your job, I don't see much of a problem with it, in my opinion.
I mean, I always see a lot of bias when star players get treated differently to, I guess, lower name, but that's really no excuse. I mean, you miss meetings, you miss these practices, and there's obviously going to be repercussions for it. I believe it should happen. I mean, what other repercussions are there going to be? I mean, I understand with the whole suspending of the first drive. Now, a whole game might be a little bit of a stretch for a single missed practice.
To be fair with Keon, it's been over and over. Like it's been plenty of times. Coach said he needed to grow up. This wasn't just a one-time thing.
If it's a reoccurring,
this was reoccurring
situation, then I completely understand that.
Yeah, I mean, for me on this one, like in terms of George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb sitting out for a drive, I feel like that's kind of just a weird punishment to me because I don't really feel like that's much of a punishment. Like obviously you want to start the game, I get it, but like it's one drive in a game to me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it's that huge. I feel like if it was like a one-time thing, I really probably wouldn't do anything. I'd just be like, I'd have a conversation with him if I was a head coach and be like, hey, like we can't be doing that. Like you're a leader on this team.
Yeah.
Now, regardless if you're a leader or not, but especially when you're in a leadership position, you can't be missing meetings or practice or whatever it may be. But like if it's a reoccurring thing like Keon Coleman, you should be missing games, not just a drive. In my opinion, you got to take action further.
Yeah, and I mean I agree with what Parker was saying earlier. If they still showed up, they still made it to the meetings. Like they're grown men, they have some freedom. But at the same time, like if you're able to show up to those meetings, there shouldn't be anything. Maybe the coach is like, okay, maybe suggest something else. But I don't think sitting them out for the first drive of a game, one, that hurts your team. If it comes down to like a one-possession game, you think, oh, if we had them in the entire game, we might have won this game.
To touch back on the Keon Coleman situation, because it's a little different than CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens because it seems reoccurring. In a spot where guys are looking at you to be the number one receiver on the team after the departure of Stephon Diggs, that's huge, man. Yeah. That turns into cancer in the locker room. And the Bills, who are trying to get out of the AFC to make it to the Super Bowl, man, that just can't be happening.
Yeah.
I mean, it's ridiculous.
I understand with the whole missing meetings thing, and I actually want to retract back to the whole performance aspect of it because you talked about Justin Fields. I don't think it's Justin Fields' fault. I mean, he produced really solidly for the Pittsburgh Steelers last season. I mean, he had a really solid season in his final year in Chicago as well. So I think it's just a coaching aspect when it comes to the New York Jets because the last successful quarterback in that New York Jets organization was Mark Sanchez back in 2010 when he led them to the AFC Championship. So that, I think, it's just an organizational thing and a coaching thing. But speaking on the coaching side of controversy, Michael Miller, you have a big one in the world of college football.
Yeah, I want to talk about James Franklin going to Virginia Tech. I think that, for all of us, like our age range, we don't really have any memory of Virginia Tech being a power in college football. They've never really been anything for us. When this happened, though, yesterday, my dad looked at me and was like, Virginia Tech might be back. Because when he, in his college days and his childhood, Virginia Tech was a very big power in college football. Frank Beamer was there. They were playing really good football. The only thing about it, I think we all agree this is a Grand Slam hire for Virginia Tech. But my only thing would be, are we surprised that he didn't land a better job, maybe a Florida, LSU, or Auburn?
Yeah, I mean, we know there was so many better options. There was also thoughts about Lane Kiffin maybe leaving Ole Miss. That would have been an opening for James Franklin. I feel like there was a lot better options than Virginia Tech. So I don't know why. Maybe he could have waited a little bit longer. Maybe he was just anxious to get back into it. I don't know.
I think it was a beautiful situation. Looks like a cake schedule next year. Maybe you can get some transfers in there. James Franklin is not that's a big name, man, and I think he still holds a lot of value, and I think he could really turn that program around.
Big names come with big players, and I was looking at it when he was at Penn State last season. In the offseason, they ranked top 5 in the Big Ten when it came to recruits coming in, and they ranked top 20 nationally across all the U.S. with recruits coming in. So honestly, with him moving over to Virginia Tech, Virginia Tech ranked in the 40 to 50 range when it comes to recruits. But when you have a historic name like James Franklin and a big name like James Franklin, he's going to be a guy who brings in recruits to Virginia Tech. And we talk about, the dynasty dying with, Alabama, which that turned out to be, a revival. Could we see a revival of Virginia Tech football? But speaking upon that, in football, let's get into some fantasy football.
It's that time of the year again. And we're talking all things fantasy. Whether you're a 10-year vet or a first-year rookie, we've got you covered with some fantasy football.
Now, when it comes to fantasy football, honestly, I'm not doing as well as I truly hoped this past year. I have, a whole team riddled with injuries, and nobody wants to seem to really accept my trades.
They're awful trades.
It truly benefits them. Aiden Abe, me and him are working to get something out. A trade done, hopefully before the trade deadline. But I want to start with a guy who, did you win this week, Michael?
I did win this week.
You did win this week. So I want to start out with a guy who won this week, Michael Miller.
Yeah, look, Drake May's playing great football right now. Not just Drake May, but the team Drake May, as you know.
That's good.
But Drake May, and honestly, Drake May, the person Drake May, has had a couple of kind of down weeks for himself, gotten 15, 14 the last couple weeks. But Travion Henderson has been absolutely insane since coming to the team the last 2 weeks, 28 points, 32 this past week. The rest of the team honestly kind of did nothing, and I got lucky that Richard had a ton of injuries this week when I played him. So, we're in third place. 7-4 being in third place, I think, is pretty interesting in this league. We have a lot of, as we talked about last week, we have a lot of average teams in our league this year. So, my team's average, above average maybe. Darnell Mooney's going to have to play this week, so I'm very much scared for that because a lot of injuries. But Jackson, what do you want to say?
Now, average teams and average players, I want to talk about my team this year. Right now, I'm on a 3-game losing streak. Last week, I lost to JT Groves. Who would have thought that Josh Allen was going to put up 42 versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
If I benched him, I still would have won that game.
I want to talk about.
I won by 50 points, Jackson.
I really wish I put in Sean Tucker. He dropped 34 points. I didn't really think that was going to happen. But I want to talk about average players who did really well last year, and it's kind of fallen off for me this year. David Montgomery hasn't really been putting up the same numbers he has since last year. I don't know if it's a loss of Ben Johnson type thing, but David Montgomery hasn't looked too good. And on the AFC side, DK Metcalf. DK stands for don't know how to catch a ball to save his life. And, thinking, you have Aaron Rodgers looking to revive the end of his career, put some pressure on that, stabilize it. And unfortunately, that's not the case for DK Metcalf with giving him the ball. 9.9 points versus a Cincinnati Bengals secondary that absolutely sucks and is known for blowing leads. So, shout out DK Metcalf and David Montgomery for doing nothing. Now, JT, you beat me last week.
Mm-hmm.
I want to hear the little spiel before I throw it to Parker for starts and sits.
So got the win against Jackson last week. Very easy matchup. All my players did really well, put up 160 points on the week. And then overall, clinched a bye week this week. Or not a bye week, but clinched a playoff spot. Looking to claim the bye week after this week against Richard Reed, who Michael played last week. And yeah, like we mentioned, this is a league of mid right now. Aiden's first, I'm second. And then we have Michael over here is currently in third. Richard's sitting at 6 and 5 and fourth. And then we have 6 teams fighting for those 5th and 6th spots in the playoffs currently. John Howley, Jackson, Joey Prater, who is absolutely having the Cinderella run of his life right now. I think he's on like a 4-game win streak right now, something like that.
We have to say about
Very
that,
quick.
Jackson.
Absolutely
very quick.
insane that I mentioned this at the beginning of the season. I said cash or trash. Joey Prater comes back, makes the playoffs, and
somebody
most
here
of us-
trashed it.
Somebody trashed that
yeah,
take.
I did trash it. And Joey Prater's Raiders heard my hot take. He heard me. He was there in the control room. And Joey, I sincerely apologize that you will not be making the playoffs. I will still take that
That's
5th and 6th
unbelievable.
seed. I don't
You're
care.
taking both of them?
Honestly, I think, yeah, I will take both of them. I
Prater's
don't
Raiders
care.
is peaking at the right time, Jackson.
Peaking at the right time. It's not about how you start. It's about how you finish.
That's
And
the
we're
point.
not at the end of the season yet, Michael Miller.
The team led by
I-
Caleb Williams, Rico Dowdle, and Trey McBride.
Who would've
And the
thought-
Steelers'
hold on.
defense.
Who would have thought that Rico Dowdle was going to have the season he had when Chuba Hubbard went down?
Nobody.
Nobody thought that because Rico Dowdle was behind a worse O-line, is behind a worse O-line in Carolina than he was in Dallas. I guess Dallas didn't know how to run a ball. They haven't known how to run a ball since Ezekiel Elliott, outside of Javonte Williams this season. So
I just got a trade from Mr. Brandon Dyer in the other room. So it's a big trade. Josh Allen, Christian McCaffrey, Puka Nacua, Rasheed Rice, Ted McMillan, Brandon Aubrey, Aaron Jones, Taysom Hill, and the Bills defense for Jackson Smith and Jigba.
That'd be 2 huge trades for Brandon. in the
That would
span of
be
like 30 minutes.
huge. I do love JSN.
JT, I consider it.
I'm not. No, I'm
consider
sorry.
it.
I'm sorry, Brandon.
That's
I'm sorry.
probably one of the most fair trades I have ever heard this
That
season.
might be the only time that he gives up JSN or even offers to give up JSN.
That's like the offers that JT was giving Joey earlier in the season.
Actually, not even close to the offers that I was
It was
given.
pretty close. But Parker, I mean, you're in a fantasy league of your own. You're probably going to join the WSN league next year. What players do you like to see around the league that you think people should start and sit?
Just to give you a touch on my team, it is a 15-man league.
Ooh.
So, I'm just fighting to not finish last because last gets
Been a rough
punished.
season? Rough
last,
season?
very rough season. But my team is highlighted with Lamar Jackson, Justin Jefferson, the GOAT Kyle Pitts.
Embodying that Grady energy.
Yeah, that's about it. But
That's
a
his only
guy I
highlight.
sneaky like that's in this waiver wire for a 15-team league is Blake Corum.
Ooh.
His usage has kind of been up. They've
Yep.
been splitting with Kyron Williams, but in that shootout that I just seen with Tampa Bay and Buffalo, I could see Corum getting in the end zone here in a Sunday night game in LA against Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
I mean,
like that.
I mean, Corum is like the 2025 version of David Montgomery, if that makes sense.
Not at all.
He's a guy who's going to be at the, at the goal line. Obviously, with the Lions' offense last season, they had a Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery type split. I'm talking about in the latter half of the season when it comes to, I guess, goal line stands for that instance. I mean, I can see even more implementation of the usage of Blake Corum at the goal line, heading into the later half because they're facing teams that have tough times stopping the run defense. So, I mean, I can see that happening.
I also want to bring up a guy that's on my team currently who is also a backup running back, Vishal Tootin for the Jacksonville Jaguars. These past few weeks has been popping off while sitting on my bench because he's not good enough to play for me yet. But he did put up 13 points against the Chargers last week, had 15 touches on the ground and a touchdown. And what we've seen is he out-touched Travis Etienne last week. Now, this could be the fact of it was 15-12 with the snap share. And this could be on the fact that both of them were dealing with some injuries. But Tootin has been looking very solid as a backup running back. And so I kind of have him as a little stash. If Etienne goes down, this guy could be putting up 20 points a week very easily.
Hey, rootin' tootin' ready for shooting. Also, he's a former Hokie as well, so shout out James Franklin and Virginia Tech over there. I could see, Cash in the whole goal line stands with Tootin and Corum. But speaking of Cash, and before we get into that, we're going to show some love to the other shows. But when we come back, we're going to go around the table for our Cash or Trash. Stay tuned.
This is former MLB All-Star Justin Masterson, and you're listening to Sports Out of Pocket on Wolf Sports Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live at Playbook Training Camp. Now we throw it down to Joey, who's interviewing head coach Brandon Dyer.
Thanks, JT. I'm here with head coach Brandon Dyer. And Brandon, there have been many reports about starting punter Jackson Vols saying that he peaked in high school. Now, what are your thoughts on how he will perform this semester with the playbook?
Well, Joey, I have full confidence that Jackson Vols will be a breakout star for the playbook this season. And you'll find out Fridays at noon only on Wolf Sports Network.
Step right up, folks. It's season 2 of the playbook, where we're talking everything college basketball and baseball and...
Wait, Jackson. Dude, it's fall. And just like a playbook, I think we need to call an audible.
Ready! Omaha, hot!
We are talking strictly college football all semester on season 2 of the playbook, Fridays at noon, only on Wolf Sports Network.
It's time for season 2 of the playbook, and we're talking all things college football, putting together a better sophomore season than Tim Tebow in 2007.
To the listeners and everybody at Wolf Nation, I promise you one thing. You will never see an on-air personality work as hard as I will for season 2 of the playbook, and we will make this show better than any college football radio show will ever be for season 2 of the playbook.
Listen as we fulfill this promise, live, every Friday at noon.
Listen up, because I got to tell you, Sports Pack is back and better than ever right here on Wolf Sports Network. Sports Pack is UWG's one-stop shop for all things sports. From hot takes to heated debates and even your best bets for the week, Sports Pack has you covered. So don't miss out on the fun. Catch us right here on Wolf Sports Network every Monday and Thursday at 6 p.m. See you there.
Will our mouths write a check that we can't cash? Find out when we answer the question on everyone's mind. Cash or trash?
That is right, Grady Hamilton. There are a lot of checks that our mouths cannot cash. And by the way, Grady Hamilton is not here because he's at the annual Kyle Pitts fan convention in Atlanta at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Hopefully he gets back through that Atlanta traffic very safely.
He said he had 2 tickets, but he did not offer it to me.
He didn't offer it
he
to
might
Michael.
have taken Richard with him just to really show him he really wants Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, he really wants Kyle Pitts. Show him why he should be on the team. But I want to start with Grady's replacement, Parker Andell. Parker, do you have a cash or trash for this week?
I do, and I have a lot to make up for since my last cash or trash, because last time we met I said the Falcons could win the NFC South, and I don't even want to talk about how that's looking right now. But I'd love to stay on topic with the Falcons, and I'd really like them to go get Kyler Murray, and I think it is a perfect fit.
Ooh, I really like this take just based off of the fact that we've seen this in the past. We've seen a player like Kyler Murray. They had Michael Vick in the past, a running style quarterback, not as much of a passer, and he had a lot of success in Atlanta. I really like Kyler Murray. I don't think he's in a good situation with the Cardinals right now. I just feel like both teams need to make a change. Falcons are going down the drain. Cardinals are having injuries all across the board. Marvin Harrison's out for a few weeks. Trey McBride's the only bright spot on that team right now.
Are you talking about for this season or in the offseason?
Kind of both. I mean, it doesn't matter when it takes place.
It's too late to happen this season, but it will happen.
Yeah,
in
that's
the
what I'm saying. It will prepare for next season.
I don't think you should give up on Penix just yet. Just because you did use a first-round draft pick on him, and obviously gave him a really solid rookie contract.
I think this is their chance to sell him high.
Look,
that's why I like JT.
We saw the Chicago Bears give up on Justin Fields, and it ended up turning out to be Caleb Williams. It was the right decision. So you see a lot of young quarterbacks, especially dual threat quarterbacks, who have been given up early and shipped off to other teams. But honestly, Kyler Murray has not had success since before COVID.
And he was one of the top quarterbacks in the league, like when he first came into it.
The potential's there.
Yeah, the potential is there. And I mean, you have Marvin Harrison Jr., you have Trey McBride over there, and they're not being utilized. So honestly, I don't think Kyler Murray is going to fix the situation. I think you need to fire Raheem Morris. That is the number one. Fire Zach
100%.
Robinson. Zach Robinson can't call a play to save his life. He couldn't hit water if he fell out of a boat. So,
All right,
honestly.
real quick,
yeah,
what's the average height of the offensive line for the Cardinals?
like 6'7",
Okay, what's the average height for the offensive line for the Falcons?
like
I've
6'5".
no clue.
Y'all should know
You
this.
saying he's getting a
6'5"?
better look over?
He would get a better look over because like he's obviously not able to see over that offensive line in Arizona. That's why he's throwing picks. That's why he's having to scramble every play because he can't see the guys coming after him.
I'd like to hear Michael's thoughts on this.
Cash. I don't know what it is about watching Michael Penix play football, but it's boring. I don't know why. Because like it's not like there have been some games he had last year, especially, and like a little bit this year, where he's playing good football.
Yeah.
And I got on him earlier this year about being a statue, not really moving at all. This past week he did move a little bit more, made some plays with his legs.
Look what happened.
Exactly. He's a walking injury. He's probably gonna get injured more and more in his career when he's here.
Knew that before we took him.
And we did know that as far as the Indiana thing. And then Kyler Murray, like we were talking about, Kyler was really good at the beginning of his career. I still think he's a good quarterback. He's mobile.
Yep.
I like that mobile aspect to it. I think if we got the right guy in there, and Matt LaFleur, have you heard that rumor?
Yes, sir.
Imagine Matt LaFleur and Kyler Murray in here.
Boom.
I don't think that's going to happen.
And
I don't think that's
imagine
gonna
if
happen.
they don't drop another Battlefield or a Call of Duty game. Dude, Kyler Murray will be one of the top quarterbacks.
But speaking upon, like, you talk about injury positions. Michael Penix Jr. has been injury prone throughout his college career, and it's kind of, teetered on into his NFL career. It's the same thing with Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray has not been healthy during his NFL career. So why would you want another not healthy quarterback at an Atlanta Falcons position when you have a guy maybe like they're probably going to move on from Justin Fields, draft a guy like Fernando Mendoza early on in that first round for the New York Jets. Justin Fields has shown a lot of highlights at other places like when it comes to change of scenery. So why not take Justin Fields, a guy who is healthy, a guy who can actually throw a ball down the field and see over his offensive line instead of Kyler Murray?
You're saying Kyler Murray can't throw a ball down the
Fields
field?
is bad at football, Jackson.
Kyler Murray
Fields is not bad at football.
Like the same guy who
In the
ended with
NFL,
like
yes, he is.
12 yards passing in a game.
Kyler Murray can 100% throw a ball down the field. I can say this as a Bills fan. He threw like a 70-yard Hail Mary against us to win the game just a few years ago.
Also won a Heisman, by the way.
And also won a Heisman. Exactly. Like
just because he won a Heisman doesn't
Kyler
mean
Murray-
it's going to translate to the NFL.
Kyler Murray has a lot more
played well.
potential.
Johnny Manziel wasn't able to translate to the NFL.
No, but
He won
Kyler
a
Murray,
Heisman,
we've
right?
seen Kyler Murray
That's
play
what I'm
well,
saying.
though.
Which one are you going to bank on? I've seen NFL success from Kyler Murray. I've seen the potential, and that's what you got to bank on. When
You've seen some NFL success from Justin
You've
Fields.
seen a couple games here and there,
I'm
but
talking
Kyler
about-
Murray had seasons where
You're
he
telling
was
me
really
you
good.
take Justin Fields over Kyler Murray?
Yes.
That's
Whoa.
insane.
Yes.
That's wild.
Whoa.
100%. I'd 100%
Are we in cash or
taken-
trash right
so,
now?
like, this is cash or trash.
I know. That's
And
why I
with
said it.
Justin Fields had success with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Through his
So did
first
Russell
5
Wilson.
games. I don't think he's. Yeah, I know, but still, a change of scenery. Honestly, I think it starts with organizational things when it comes to the Atlanta Falcons. They need to get rid of. They need to clean house, like Parker.
Rich
Angel
McKay
mentioned.
has to go.
Yeah. So
before
honestly,
anybody else.
hypothetically, I want to throw up a hypothetical very quick. If they fire Raheem Morris after the end of the season, who do you want in that place?
I mean, if the Matt LaFleur thing is true, then Matt LaFleur. I'm
100%.
very skeptical about if that's true or not.
Hey,
but
Bill
if it is,
O'Brien's
We'll
looking
see
to
if
move
they
back
miss
to
the
NFL.
playoffs.
If not, though, like why not go
Dion.
after like Joe Brady if because I know that
Don't.
like, he's in the.
Stay away from Joe Brady.
I know that he's like in a bunch of coaching searches and in college football too. I think he wants to stay in the NFL though. I think there's a reason why he went to the NFL and not staying coach. I don't think he wants to be there.
I think Joe Brady loves the Bills. He loves getting to work with Josh Allen. I don't think he's going anywhere.
That's what we
Brian
said about
Dable
the last OC.
Brian
Or
Dable
just
already
Jeff
left.
Ulbrich.
And
Just
good.
promote Jeff Ulbrich.
Good thing that Brian Dable left because the Bills are a lot better now than they were in the past
Still
because
can't win
of
a
that.
Super Bowl. Still
It's just
can't
so
make a Super Bowl.
frustrating that they made the wrong decision when they had the chance. You've got Vrabel who's balling out 9-2. We also interviewed
Had Harbaugh in
Ben
there.
Johnson, Harbaugh. Like every other choice is succeeding
Bill
besides.
Bill Belichick.
Yeah, we could have saved him from that situation too. But we'll move on to the next take.
Well, I like how you mentioned Justin Fields earlier because my cash or trash is that the New York Jets are a quarterback graveyard.
I mean, that's an obvious cash. They haven't been successful since Mark Sanchez in 2010. As I said, I mean, like look at all the quarterbacks who have gone through that system and have succeeded other places. Sam Darnold was awful in the New York Jets organization, and then he flourished in Minnesota, and then leading him to a Seattle Seahawks, which he's doing pretty well this season with turning JSN into like one of the top receivers and all the
JSN was
NFL.
already one of the top receivers. Let's get that straight first.
I mean, his talent is just being shown even more. He took off.
He did take off this season.
Like, he took off with Sam. I mean, it's glad that they moved on from Geno Smith over there. Like, for another example, the Jets. Like, Zach Wilson, I think Zach Wilson was too overhyped. I don't think he's going to flourish in any sort of organization. Zach Wilson was not an NFL-ready quarterback.
Not at all.
But
can you blame that on the Jets, or is that blaming Zach Wilson?
I think it's blamed on draft profiling.
Okay.
Honestly,
Okay.
Prospect viewing when it comes to that. Who's another quarterback?
Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers. I mean, Aaron Rodgers wasn't able to do well in that New York Jets organization, and he's shown some highlights at the age of 42 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, leading that division right now.
Yeah.
So honestly, I'm gonna cash that take.
Yeah, I think you have to cash it because, like Jackson was saying, like I'm thinking about my lifetime. Like the best Jets quarterbacks I can remember is Mark Sanchez and Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Yeah.
And no shade to those two guys, but that's not who you want as either your franchise quarterbacks. You have to go all the way back before color television existed, when Joe Namath was running around playing football. You know, win sprints to find good Jets quarterbacks. Yeah, the Jets have had absolutely zero success, really in general, but especially at the quarterback position. Yep.
I have no choice but to cash it and agree with everyone else, but I also just want to touch on kind of their future situation and stuff like that. Like I'm really high on Aaron Glenn, very good coach. But I just don't know what direction they're trying to head, man. They traded Sauce Gardner away. They did get some first-round picks, but I think they're in a weird situation of just being at the bottom for a long time.
I'm glad you mentioned that because they did trade away Sauce Gardner, one of the best young corners in the league.
Williams.
Yeah, Quinnen Williams. They got some good picks out of it as well. They got a young receiver in A.D. Mitchell. Yep. He's waiting for him to start doing something. But, like, you have these players on your team. Breece Hall is a pretty solid running back. Garrett Wilson, really, really solid receiver. Can be top 10 if you have a solid quarterback throwing him the ball, or at least a commentable one, you know. But at the same time, like, they have the talent on their team, and they have a lot of draft picks.
Sounds like another team I know.
Yeah, in a couple weeks, or not a couple years, and a couple years down the line, get some drafts in. They have great drafts. The Jets have great drafts. Like, a couple years ago, they had like 3 or 4 first-round picks, and they were all hits. They're all making impact.
Players, yeah. I mean, it just comes to a coaching aspect, and I kind of want to you had an internal take in there with Aaron Glenn being a good coach. I don't think he's a good head coach. I think he's a good coordinator. I think he's a great coordinator. I don't think he's a good head coach.
Give him time.
Honestly, put Rex Ryan back in the New York Jets
coaching
position.
Boo.
He led them to a playoffs, didn't he? I mean, honestly. But I want to talk about another quarterback that that kind of fell in this past year's draft, who made his debut for the Cleveland Browns last week, Shedeur Sanders. I want to, for my cash or trash this week, we talked about him very week 1, saying, Shedeur Sanders is going to come in week 8, and he's going to be the clear-cut starter.
Man, who made that? Who made that claim?
He's gonna be so good for the Cleveland Browns. You said he was going to be good.
He had one game. All right, one game.
Yeah.
This game against the Ravens, I believe.
Raiders.
No, Raiders. Yeah. He's going to go off against the Raiders, dude.
What's your take, bro?
Yeah.
Shedeur Sanders, is he going to improve and show that he's an NFL starter throughout the rest of this season?
I think if they keep him in the rest of the season, if Dylan Gabriel remains on the bench, Shedeur Sanders is the better option. I think he's better than Dylan Gabriel. I think he should be the starter the rest of the season. I think he's going to prove himself a little bit. He's obviously not going to be like a top 10 quarterback, top 15 quarterback right away. But by the end of the season, he's going to have some solid stats going into next season.
Let him play. I mean, we saw the talent in college. I know it wasn't great competition, but he was still playing at a very high level. You can't watch the guy play and not think he has elite talent, has a great arm, great mobility. He's a very good quarterback. I think if you just give him the rest of the year, see what happens, then obviously, with the Browns draft spot, see where you're at. And if you have a spot to get a guy like Ty Simpson or Fernando Mendoza, do that and have a quarterback competition next year.
Yep.
Yeah, I love that, Michael. I think it's too popular and it's too contagious to hate. I just don't want to be a hater. And I like being a hater. But I'm going to cash it, and I'm going to say let him play, man. Let him get a full game under his belt. Let him play the team that probably shoulda, coulda, woulda drafted him. And let him go out there and just ball out, man. Let him beat the Raiders because the Raiders stink. Yeah. Go out there, lead the Browns to a W, and let the media pop off and say whatever they want to.
The Browns is perfect timing.
The Browns the Browns have a really solid O-line. Don't get me wrong. And you have great weapons like Quinshon Judkins, who's an elusive back. running back and receiving back. And then you have a guy like Jerry Jeudy, who is still, younger, still in his prime. Njoku has been really solid. I think he's been an underlooked tight end throughout his whole entire career.
And
he's been like a top 7 tight end in the NFL.
And you have a solid young defense. You have you have one of the better offensive lines in all of the National Football League. This is a talented squad. They need to figure out that quarterback, but they have that talent.
Not to mention Myles Garrett.
Myles Garrett on that defense, they have those players.
They need
have
better
those
offensive
dogs.
coordinators. I mean, Kevin Stefanski is a phenomenal head coach. I mean, they don't give out.
I wouldn't say phenomenal.
They don't give that award out for Coach of the Year to him for no reason. I mean, he's a 2-time winner of that. Led the Browns to the playoffs a couple years ago. I think it's just, again, the Browns have not been successful, in a playoff implications to that or a regular season implication throughout their entire history. I think the best quarterback in Browns history was probably Bernie Kosar, and that was the 80s, 90s, something like that. But I don't know. We'll see how it goes the rest of the season with Shedeur Sanders. Now, Michael Miller, I know you have a cash or trash for this week.
I do. So I think we've all seen the supposed Ole Miss ultimatum that they made towards Lane Kiffin that he immediately shot down on Pat McAfee yesterday. I'm a big college football guy. I watch Josh Pate all the time, and he said this on his show on Sunday night. It was either Sunday or yesterday. And when he first said it, it kind of took me back, and then I was like, I actually really agree with this. So this is my cash or trash. Ole Miss should give him an ultimatum, and if he does not sign a contract extension and say that he's going to stay by the Egg Bowl, when the regular season ends, I fire Lane Kiffin. Pete Golding is my head coach moving into the playoffs. So you can start your coaching search early.
Ooh,
Parker.
Wow, that's a crazy take.
Yeah,
I'll let you go first because I got to think on it.
I don't like that take, honestly, Michael. I'm gonna have to trash this one. I think that you can't go into a playoffs. You're a solid Ole Miss team. I don't think you can go into the playoffs and then fire your head coach that has gotten you to that moment. I think that's just going to be a complete change up. You're trying to win the national championship this year. It would not be a good move. Do not make any changes to this roster, to this team, very talented team. You do not want to make those changes, especially when it comes to playoff time and you're going against some of those top teams in college football. Trash.
I'm going to also have to trash it, and I mentioned on the tailgate show that I love their path when it was lined up last week. Now, obviously, it's going to be a shakeup, but I love Ole Miss pass to possibly go to the national championship and slide their way through there. And without Lane Kiffin, I think it's going to be really hard to do.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be surprised if it did happen just because Lane Kiffin, he's bounced around a good bit. So I could see Ole Miss worries there, but with a guy that you can trust to take you all the way, I just don't think you can fire him right there at the finish line.
I agree.
This is a really talented Ole Miss team. And let's do a little comparison with James Franklin and Lane Kiffin. James Franklin was there for 12 years in Happy Valley with the Penn State and Nittany Lions. And he was a 10-win team. And we talked about consistency. Lane Kiffin has been also a definition of consistency, but they haven't won the SEC under his tenure. Out of the 6 seasons he's been at Ole Miss, he's had 4 10-win seasons, led them to a bunch of bowls. And with this new 12-team format, we're looking at 5 teams in the SEC, potentially 4 or 5 teams in the SEC heading into a college football playoff spot. I think it's going to be a couple more years. Just due to, I guess, the stature of his tenure when it comes to the overall talented roster with this Ole Miss Rebels. And I love the path for Ole Miss. So I'm on the edge of that. I'm going to slightly trash this take.
I like how you mentioned that Lane Kiffin has never won the SEC while during his tenure. And that's also the fact of you have teams like Alabama, Georgia, some of those top teams that are there that are going to constantly be in that championship game no matter what. They always have some of the top recruits. They have great head coaches that have been there for a long time that have a lot more consistency, are a lot better coaches, in my opinion, coaching a lot more talented rosters. I don't think that firing Lane Kiffin and bringing in somebody else or having your OC become the new head coach, I don't think that anything like that is going to propel you to the SEC championship just because there's too much competition.
Let me be clear, too, what I was saying. The point I was making about them making that decision to fire him right now is not performance-related at all.
Yeah.
It's not about that. But when you have LSU and Florida going after him like that, if Lane can't sit there and tell you definitively, I'm going to be here next year, that to me is kind of a cause of like, if you just wait on him to go, and I get your points because obviously you go into the play. If you got a shot, they have a shot to win the national title. Like they have a legit chance to do that. But let's just say they get in. Let's say they lose in the first round. Then Lane says, "All right, well, I'm going to Florida." Well, now you've completely missed this. You've missed the transfer portal window.
Yeah.
You've missed recruiting, and now he's going to take all those recruits with him to Florida or LSU wherever he goes, and now you're just left in the dust. And next year's going to be a wash, regardless of who they hire.
If that happens and Lane Kiffin goes to LSU or Florida, he's going to take those recruits to championship skies, take them on a great flight path. And speaking of that, let's get in the flight path.
Welcome aboard Sports Out of Pocket Airlines. This is your Captain Jackson Voles speaking, and we're about to talk the highs and the lows in the sports world. It's time for Flight Path.
Now, this next week coming up, by the way, we won't have any shows next week, but stay tuned for amazing content on Instagram and potentially on YouTube Shorts as well. It's Thanksgiving break, baby. And one of the best holidays throughout the year. I mean, everybody watches football. Everybody loves the foods, the traditions. And this week, for Sports Out of Pocket's Gobble Up edition, we're going to do Flight Path, our Thanksgiving edition takes. And I'm going to start with Parker Andell. What is something about Thanksgiving that you're high on and you're low on?
Something I'm high on is football. I love game days with football on Thanksgiving. Whole family getting together, eating food and watching some good old football, and just sweating some parlays in there that your family don't know that you're sweating. Something that I'm low on that's kind of, I guess, could be a controversial take is I really am low on turkey. I'm a big ham guy. I'm high on ham, low on turkey.
So I actually want to start with this. Honestly, with the football thing, I think they should curate it to where it's Netflix, where Netflix hosts it, like the whole Christmas edition with NFL.
I'm very anti-streaming service.
One thing they need to change about the NFL and Thanksgiving, I don't want to see the Cowboys and Lions play every single Thanksgiving.
At least
I'm
there is
sure
football on
Joey
Thanksgiving.
Prater from the Playbook over there, who's a big Lions fan, wants to see his Detroit Lions out there. But honestly, I don't. I think they need a much more wide array of teams or change it up every year. So honestly, I love the Turkey Bowl. I love everything that they do with that. But I'm going to put it on a low scale for me for football. But for turkey, I love turkey. I mean, my dad puts it in a smoker. He puts like this honey butter type thing on it, and it's like a barbecue rub, and it's like absolutely delicious.
Okay.
Ham, I understand, because ham is also big for Christmas, as long as you don't say Christmas salmon, because somebody tried to say that for a special edition of the Evening Prowl that I was on with Sean Isaacson over there. So it's as long as you don't say salmon, ham, I'm okay with.
Yeah, I mean, I also agree with that. I like the football take. I also like Jackson's point. Have some more variety. Like, I get your America's team.
Wait, the food or the games?
The games.
Oh,
the
yeah,
football.
You're
Football
right.
games. That's what. But have some more variety. Like, I get your America's team, the Cowboys. At this point, they don't deserve it. They have not been good. Change the team, if anything. But, like, have some more variety. Like, have different teams play. You're getting the Lions every single year. You're getting the Cowboys every single year, the Bears every single year. Like, nobody wants to see those teams play. Maybe the Bears this year or the Lions this year.
JT is.
But you do not want to see you don't want to see the Cowboys play on Thanksgiving. I'm enjoying time with my family, and I see the Cowboys on TV. I'm breaking the TV. Like, that's unbelievable. And I will say turkey for Thanksgiving, ham for Christmas. That's the way to do it. I love ham a lot more than turkey, but that's why I'm more excited for Christmas, because I like turkey, but I like ham a lot better. So I'm going to wait for Christmas for that.
JT, what are you high or low on for Thanksgiving?
Now, this might be a controversial take, but I am very, very high on deviled eggs. Deviled eggs might be the greatest. They might beat out some of the main trays.
The greatest side dishes?
I'm just waiting on Brandon Dyer to come break into the class.
You could definitely argue like mac and cheese, like some of those other ones, stuffing. Like
Hold on.
some of those are
stuffing or dressing. Very quick.
Stuffing.
Stuffing, because I saw this debate on TikTok. Stuffing or dressing? Do you call it stuffing?
It's all about where you're from. So down here it's dressing.
I go dressing.
Stuffing.
It's dressing down here.
Dressing.
Oh, it's dressing for you?
Stuffing.
Wow. I mean, deviled eggs is definitely up there, top tier, A+,
what are you
maybe
low on?
S tier. I am very low on. So we all have when we have family come over, and we have those Thanksgiving dinners and stuff, and whether you get sat at the kids' table, whether you're at the adults' table, there's always that one family member, whether it's a cousin, an aunt, an uncle, that you just cannot stand. That's what I'm low on, because I know that there's going to be people out there that are going to have that one family member there that they're just not going to be able to stand at all. They're going to get on your nerves. They're going to want to, oh, let's play this. You're just trying to watch football. Hey, let's go play in the other room. No. Get away from me. I'm watching sports. It's good to see you. Happy Thanksgiving. I'm watching football. Don't bother me.
Honestly, that's probably one of the greatest lows I've heard about Flight Path. I honestly hate the family member that gets on your nerves at Thanksgiving, especially when you're trying to watch football and just chill out on the back deck or wherever you're at for Thanksgiving. You said
deviled eggs.
Deviled eggs. Honestly, I like deviled eggs, but I'm not super high on it. I like the paprika that
if you put a whole tray of deviled eggs, say like 20, 30 on there, they will be gone in 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And I might have 20 of those 25, 30 deviled eggs.
I
will.
Understand it.
They're good, but to put it up there with mac and cheese, like mac and cheese is elite.
Mac and cheese is elite, but I feel like that A tier is like mac and cheese, deviled eggs. You could put some others up there, but deviled eggs is definitely up there.
What's your thought on cranberry sauce?
Ooh,
mid.
I like it. It's very mid.
I actually like it, but Michael
it's not
Miller,
my first option.
What are you high and low on for Thanksgiving?
Obviously, I'm very high on football. I'm a big college football guy, but for some reason, like the NFL that day to me hits a little bit differently. I don't know what it is, but like watching the Lions and Cowboys games are more entertaining me than watching on a random Sunday. And listen, I'm against you two. All right, all you two NFL guys not liking tradition over here. All right. I like the Lions and Cowboys being a standstill on Thursday.
It's
I
all
think
about
it's
tradition,
cool.
I guess.
I like the tradition of it. Obviously, nobody likes the Cowboys, but I do like the tradition of them playing on Thanksgiving. I think it's just something we've always done. You know what I'm low on is the SEC moving the Egg Bowl away from Thanksgiving. That was my favorite part of the day. Was waiting until night, go in there, get your third or fourth plate of food, sit down and watch the Egg Bowl on Thursday night. So that's what I'm low on.
Honestly, I'm not even going to comment on your takes because you said you like the tradition of the Cowboys and Lions playing every Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So I'm going to toss it to me for Thanksgiving, highs and lows for Flight Path. I want to talk about something I'm high on, and you talk about tradition. I wake up every morning super early on Thanksgiving to watch the Macy's Day Parade. Honestly, I love seeing the Diary of a Wimpy Kid floats up there, SpongeBob floats, Charlie Brown. By the way, go check out our reel on Wolf Sports Network. It's a Sports Out of Pocket Thanksgiving, everyone. Honestly, I love the Macy's Day Parade, and I love seeing the performers. Even the dances get me hyped. Something I'm
there for the floats, bro.
Yeah.
I'm there for the floats.
Something I am low on, honestly, Thanksgiving scents, because and I say this when I mean that. Thanksgiving scents because around my house, my mom likes to buy like fall scented candles. And put those around the house for that. Yeah, I think it's just a personal family thing for me. I don't necessarily like fall scented candles.
You don't like the fall candles?
I like Christmas scents better, just like the peppermint and like.
I'm all about the fall ones.
Christmas
I love it all,
dude. What would you consider a fall scent? Like what's one that like you just can't stand?
Like the
cinnamon,
pumpkin,
like the pumpkin.
Like pumpkin.
Yeah, I'm all about that.
You don't like pumpkin?
I like pumpkin
Bro.
spice latte. I just don't like the smell of it. I'm just not a big pumpkin
I
smeller.
love it, dude. Candles are fire. You get a good candle and light it.
That's a good take, Parker.
Fall is the best time for candles. Fall is the best time to go out and just to go out and smell like the leaves on the ground. Like that might be weird to say, but like you're going on those
I know
walks.
what you're saying,
The walk. You go in on the walk with your siblings and you just get to go walk around the neighborhood, do whatever you want to do. Some people do some stuff, some people do other stuff. But go on a walk, have a little talk with your siblings, and get to bond again.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
Parker, you said you're high on candles.
Yeah.
Speaking of candles, we're about to get lit for this Fire Me Up segment. But before we do that, we're going to go show some more love to the other shows, Sports Pack and The Playbook. So stay tuned for our Thanksgiving edition of Fire Me Up when we come back.
This is JT, and as Marv Levy once said,
where else would you rather be than right here, right now?
and we are Wolf Sports Network.
From the first whistle to the final buzzer, Wolf Sports Network brings you the action you crave. Sports Pack is your all-access pass to the Wolves athletics. From football, basketball, baseball, soccer, and volleyball, and more. If the Pack plays, we cover it. Passion, pride, Pack. Don't miss Sports Pack every Monday and Thursday from 6 to 7 on Wolf Sports Network.
Sports Pack.
Sports Pack.
Sports Pack is back.
West Georgia's one-stop shop for all things sports. Whether it's UWG, NFL, NBA, or MLB, we've got you covered on all fronts right here on Sports Pack.
Mondays and Thursdays at 6, only on Wolf Sports Network.
Cross them up, cross them up. Live from Carrollton, Georgia, the city of dreams. We got you covered with the men's and women's basketball teams. Shooting a three, make it with ease, crossing you up, now you on a meme. And then they popped out and did it again like Baby Keem. Tune in 1 hour before tip-off of select home games this season for the West Georgia Wolves basketball teams. For the full list of live coverage, visit wolfsportsnetwork.com. Wolf Sports Network from inside the Coliseum.
If you are anything like me, then you wait until the absolute last minute to go and do all your Christmas shopping. But if you have that same problem, Wolf Sports Network has you covered. A wide variety of clothing for men and women presented by Ozier Apparel. Men and women's polos, shirts, hats, beanies, joggers. And we even have a baseball jersey for that baseball fan in your life. Visit our merch store online at wolfsportsnetwork.com and click About. Don't be stuck giving out a lame gift this holiday season. Give your loved ones the best gift of all. Wolf Sports Network merch only at wolfsportsnetwork.com.
It's time to get heated with Fire Me Up. Welcome to the Thanksgiving edition of Fire Me Up for Sports Out of Pocket 2025. I want to start with myself and the Philadelphia Eagles. We had another hard defensive battle for the Eagles this week against the Detroit Lions. Honestly, I love what I saw defensively from the Eagles. Something I didn't love was the offensive side of the ball. Jalen Hurts, you're going against a 17th ranked secondary in the NFL with the Detroit Lions over there, and you go 14 for 28. I understand you're not a throwing guy, you're not an air raid guy, but I mean, you have to have some versatility when it comes to the ground game and the air raid game. Honestly, A.J. Brown is not there mentally. I don't understand why we didn't trade him, at the deadline. I mean, he hasn't been good for fantasy. Michael Miller understands that very, very heavily. But honestly, Jalen Phillips has still looked good for defensive side of the ball for the Eagles. But we need to upward and traject the momentum for the offensive side of the Philadelphia Eagles if we want to have a chance to potentially repeat for a Super Bowl or at least make an NFC championship. Because if we can't do that, I don't see another trophy this year for the Eagles' future. Now, I want to throw it to guys who are really, really low on their Atlanta Falcons because Michael Penix Jr. is out for the season with an injury. Kirk Cousins has not looked great for the Atlanta Falcons since he stepped in for Michael Penix Jr. this season. I'm going to start with the guys first time for a full show, big Falcons fan, Parker Andell. Parker, what are you seeing
I'm
with
going
the
to bounce
Falcons?
back with Michael here. We're going to go at it, and we need to clean house. Get everybody out of here. Arthur Blank is running out of time, and the Falcons haven't played meaningful football in a long time, and we just need to get rid of everybody, man. It's pitiful.
Rich McKay, oh my goodness. Rich McKay is a literal, oh my good. I'm not going to finish what I was going to say, but Rich McKay is a horrible person. He's a horrible GM, whatever his job. He has like 15 different titles, Jackson. You know that? He has like he's like the president of football operations. He's the general manager. He's like something in Home Depot. I don't even know what he's doing, but he's in Flowery Branch to screw my team every single year.
Yeah, I've watched the past few weeks of the Falcons football, like going over, hanging out with the twins that used to be on the show. Watching the Atlanta Falcons play is just like heartbreaking. Like I thought being a Bills fan was heartbreaking. It's absolutely heartbreaking to see.
The franchise quarterback of this team got arrested for fighting dogs, JT. That's how terrible and pathetic this organization is.
Michael, if you want to know what I was thinking watching that Panthers game up 21-3 at half, I was thinking, how are we going to lose this game?
That's always what I'm thinking.
Not how are we going to win this game, how are we going to lose it?
Never get a lefty quarterback named Michael and
Amen.
send him to Atlanta, because you know something's bound to happen, especially when it comes to dogs and injuries and everything on the ground game, specifically the ground game with the dogs and the injuries. But
Hey, they learned how to use Bijan.
I
That's
want
the
to
one
throw
upside.
it over to the second best team in the AFC East, Buffalo Bills fan and New York native Jacob Thomas Groves. How do you like your Bills heading in the later half of the season?
Our first quarter looked absolutely abysmal. And then Josh Allen, 6 total touchdowns in this game.
6, 7.
Back to his MVP form. I'm loving what I'm seeing out of this Bills team. Even without Keon Coleman, we beat a really solid Bucs team that has a lot of young talent. If they had Bucky Irving, maybe it would have been a little bit different. Bucky Irving's the GOAT. But seeing a great matchup against two teams, I was very nervous going into the game. Some of the best Bills football that I've seen in a long time. We got a lot of stuff to work with on defense. But our offense looked absolutely amazing. I'm really excited for the rest of the season. We have some tough games coming up. I know against your Eagles closer to the end of the season. We're really fighting for that playoff spot, but I'm loving what I'm seeing so far.
Knowing it's against good teams, it's probably going to be a defensive battle and an offensive shutout. There's going to be no open gate or open door for any offensive side for the Eagles or maybe even the Bills. I really don't know.
The Eagles will score a lot against the Bills, and the Bills are going to score a lot against the Eagles.
I think it's going to potentially come down to maybe the fourth quarter. But speaking about we have 4 minutes left in the show, and we still have some time. What are your Thanksgiving plans, and what are you fired up about them? Starting with JT Gross.
I'm really excited to go home and see my family. I've not seen them for almost 2 months now. Just been so stressed out with school, all this kind of stuff. Getting that break away from school and getting to see all my siblings, all my family, family from Canada, from California that are coming down to spend Thanksgiving with us. It's going to be a great time. Just excited to watch some football as well. Bills play tomorrow night. I'm really excited for that as well. No, that's not during Thanksgiving week, but I'm still excited for it. I'm really excited to go home.
Parker?
Not to sound like a broken record, man, you get to catch up with family members that you haven't talked to in a while because life gets busy. You get to go outside. We're going to have some beautiful weather, toss the football around, eat some good food. Man, it's going to be a great time.
Oh, nobody mentioned Turkey Bowl for the flight path?
Oh.
I'm so high on the Turkey Bowl, dude. I need to start prepping, dude. I'm going to start doing some high knees, some butt kicks,
Michael, what plans we got?
Yeah, I'm just gonna. Obviously, I live in Temple, so I'm not going too far. Just go back home. But I'll hang out at home. Philip, former Wolf Sports Network member, me and him, and some of our other friends from high school are gonna hang out, play some golf next week. Then on Friday, I'll be in Mercedes-Benz Stadium to watch my Georgia Bulldogs take down the nerds from that trade school in North Avenue for the 10th consecutive season. And then sit around, watch college football on Saturday, and then I guess I watch the NFL on Sunday.
I mean, Michael Miller is talking about his happiest place on earth. Me personally, for Thanksgiving break, I'm gonna be on the happiest place on earth in Orlando, Florida, Disney World. I'm super excited. I'm going with my girlfriend, my mom, dad, brother, meeting my aunt and uncle. Out there from St. Louis. We're gonna spend the week over there. Super, super excited, and I'm gonna be eating turkey, not ham. Maybe some deviled eggs. We'll see what happens.
There we go.
We will see what happens. And honestly, I'm surprised nobody said anything about desserts for Thanksgiving.
That is true.
I love chocolate pie.
Oh, come on. That's the first one you named?
Yeah, chocolate pie, apple pie. Apple pie is up there as well.
I'm not big on apple pie.
Honestly, I'm not big on pumpkin.
My Nana makes a banger banana pudding.
Oh, banana pudding.
Yeah,
Bro,
good
shout.
Banana pudding with some whipped cream. And
yes.
Mix it with some vanilla ice cream. Honestly.
Oh, I don't know about that. Just the vanilla pudding. The banana pudding is fine by itself.
But that's all the time we have for this week for Sports Out of Pockets Gobble Up Edition. I hope everybody who is listening and around the world has an amazing Thanksgiving. But for JT Groves, Parker Andell, Michael Miller, we'll see Grady Hamilton next week. We will see y'all later. Have an amazing Thanksgiving.
Go,